welcome to lesson 63 on subtracting a fraction from a whole number greater than 1. So remember, to subtract a fraction from 1, we already learned that we have to rename the 1 as a fraction with a useful denominator. And by useful denominator, I mean the same denominator as whichever fraction you are subtracting. So for example, if I had 1 minus 1/4, I would rename the 1 as 4/4 and then subtract the 1/4, right? So we did 4/4 minus 1/4. My denominator stays the same. 4 minus 1 is 3/4. So we've already done that. But what happens if the number that we are subtracting from is bigger than 1? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take away one of these whole numbers. Right now I have 3 wholes. I'm going to take one whole and I'm going to break it into my 4/4, and then I'll leave the 2. So I'm basically rewriting 3 as a mixed number. Okay? And so what that's going to look like, I'll do it in a different color so you can see, is I'm going to take this 3, and instead of being written as 3, I'm going to rewrite it as 2 and 4/4. So now I have 2 and 4/4, and I chose to do 4 as the denominator because I'm going to be subtracting a fraction with a denominator of 4, minus 1/4 equals, and when I do this, first I'm going to subtract the fractions. So I have 4 minus 1 is 3, but I'm going to leave a little bit of room. My denominator stays the same. And then I'm going to subtract the whole numbers. So 2 minus, and we have no whole number there, so this is just going to stay as a 2. And I can give you a hint that all of the questions that we're doing today in class, this number is just going to be a fraction. It's not going to be a mixed number. So it's always your mixed, the whole number part of the mixed number will be the same as it is right here for today's lesson. But eventually, that might change too, because you might have a whole number there. So let's get back to our notes. So we have to subtract from a number greater than 1. Remember, this is the greater than symbol. So to subtract from a number greater than 1, take away one whole and rename that whole as a useful denominator, like we just did above. Here's another example. So I'm going to rename 4 as 3, and now the whole that I took away, I want to rename as a fraction equivalent to 1 with a denominator of 2. So 3 and 2 over 2 minus 1/2 equals 2 minus 1 is 1/2, and then 3 minus 0 is 3. So my final answer is 3 1/2. All right, let's do example B together. Pause the video and try it on your own first, and then check your work by hitting play and seeing if you did the same thing. So I'm going to rename 5 as 4 and 3 over 3 minus 1/3. 3 minus 1 is 2/3. 4 minus 0 is 4. 4 and 2/3. Another type of question might use pictures. Okay, and this wants you to rename this as both a whole number and as a mixed number. All right, so if I were to name this as a mixed number, or first we'll do a whole number of what is shaded, we have 1, 2, 3 wholes that are shaded. So as a whole number, that would just be 3. But I could also name this as a mixed number. So if I were to name these shapes as a mixed number, I'm going to say there's 1, 2 wholes, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, and all 4 are shaded. So this is both 3 and 2 and 4/4. Now it's time for you to show me what you know. So here's another example with the diagram. I want you to name it as a whole number and as a mixed number. And then I would like you to try these 2 questions on your own as well. And this threw in something a little bit different because not a 1 there, so make sure that you're paying attention. All right, so I look forward to seeing what you bring in tomorrow. Go ahead and get to work.